Hello, this video is about compost. Everything makes a different kind of soil. In thing/s, things make, individually grouped and together, they make different kind of soils. Just as how the notes of music are individually grouped and together bound by and as a volume science, more finite than, while being the value of music theory, and while simultaneously being the identity of volume that is greater than its value, while it is as value as nature / nature as value, where a whole bunch of different distinct identities of sequence nature have to come in first as simultaneous nature, as life. Do not hear this abridged through computers have to mimic what is incomplete, what makes lists, and assumes integrity, identity of the ground, locations, and databases that simultaneously are known, not capable of it, because of the methods forcing. So this is about, they say you have to be about, so stacking leaves. These are mostly maple leaves, some of a few oak leaves, and then they break down. There are videos on YouTube about, I'll put some in the more information section below this. Below YouTube videos is a section that you could press the little thing if you look at the details on the, and even if you're not on YouTube, it's free to subscribe to YouTube. Then you could use the YouTube search pane, and you could watch videos about just about anything, any sub details about things. You could look up one type of plant on how to grow it, and you would see how learn different things from different videos about the same plant, growing it in your zone, etc. So this is all from a tactically denatured base that no one could fathom. Not just the resources, the identity of the grounds, identity of relationship to itself, where it is invisible but still discernible, distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously as the ground, in increasing volume as that identity here, where we are factually, nature as quality, where there is one identity of truth that is the identity that inventions work or not in relationship to itself or not. They are further positive or negative in relationship to itself or not. Since founding, pounding drums, the short words of our species were prevented, while sequence, the relevance of sequence true was prevented offensively by in this method that had everyone needed to pretend other too, because everyone was forced not just to entertain but to be standing identity of the ground, identity of relationship to itself as criminal and ceaseless natures, styles of it, styles of logic using tactically, criminally foreign influence premises treatments, sequence treatments, finite, active, and progressive treatments, and identity treatments. So I am not a lawyer, I'm not a police officer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. But there is complete possession over the short words, and therefore further and further upon the long words. And where and how mandated law was his self-valued being and having been prevented by those purporting to be about it, and or purporting to be righteousness in the place of its loss, prevented demonstration since founding. Per styles, for example, pretending that someone could either speak positive or negative about how the uses of America's identity is. See, we have fake sides of correlation nature, maintained self-value by each age of fact-achieving nature, per a method that knew that roles with it would make methods, pretending other in relationship to the real causes of finite, active, progressive, negative value nature progressions, acts in nature. Nature is like criminal ceases nature. Nature is a relationship to identity, and to identity's relationship to positive and negative simultaneously, not with positive or negative on one side. As one identity of volume, as one identity of volume's identity of relationship to itself, and the value of that only increasing. Now this is Trinity science and such. Correlation nature reveals this. Is what sciences are about, where then how they share an identity of relativity. This is not theory. Who wants to debate this needs to self-value roles with the predicate act stacked in databases against everyone, and everyone self-valuing roles with that. By the time they're this is an identity theft fraud method against every single person. It's fake integrity, uses of lie progressions, uses of individually grouped and together, distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously each age. How maintain victims, used remotely, but per all identity ground locations too. So it's differentially how they are criminally foreign influenced. This is remote uses of all identity ground locations, including the branches of government individually grouped together, so kept as manifest as methods, where and how there are complete identities, the complete possession of an archetypal criminal enterprise, a breaching method, and such is so for the identities of other modern countries, individually grouped and together, in the opinions of all locations, areas, and states. They can't pretend integrity. They can't pretend integrity of the premise of treatments everyone as victim predators. So we have to have a syntax nature. We have to have intersciences immediately release, and discerning what can't stand release, right, for reasons that were force protracted by this thing, and what can't stand it because it is an identity of industry or a person or a group that can't defend itself and afford the short words, using the value of the surface values of the Constitution simultaneously valued, and the nature of the law, which is greater than and more finite than that simultaneously, as an identity of the ground relationship to the identity of ground of values plus variable progression. Again, the inventions work or not in relationship to it. They are further positive or negative and not in relationship to it. It's not politics what never learned to speak real about the science of positive and negative simultaneous relationship to identity, simultaneous relationship as value, as nature / nature as value, to the three distinct simultaneous. Now, when you bring up slavery, for example, that is correlation and discorrelation / discorrelation. Slavery is the value / value progression of that increasingly negative. The slash part is part of that, is the identity of relativity to all identity ground locations. Now that's one part of the slavery that was against everyone, sickly distinctly. So sickly distinctly, so not anti-sickly, for relief and helpfully, we have to overcome that distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously. And it has to come from the quality of fact, human nature. That doesn't have to debate people who are using information. They have trusted sources. This is where truths are used to lie, / lies to use for truth at the same time. And time treatment's always too fast, too slow. States and areas getting over on forever nature, which identity is. Science reveals. But we need our short words. See, WFSB, attach me to fake words with other people. They have roles with investigators private and with people. All they have to do to help is follow mandated law, which is, in other words, they're involved with worse than extortion, and they're doing with other people, other natures of crimes. They use this method where they separate subjects, the branches of government, private tied to them, military, foreign, and domestic, and overt criminal enterprises, and killers, and the stewards of the witness protection program, all recorded, confessed, demonstrated. Regardless if they want to say, oh, this is true or not, confirmed. In other words, on and off campuses of each age through time, through lifetimes, there were connections and roles with methods recorded where they create instances. And now this is an instance before databases. How they have instances, how we are a value/value progression system, native, pure, no matter who we are. And so the increasing impositions upon the Native Americans, physically, individually grouped and together, that method was specifically individually grouped and together to maintain people while simultaneously separated from their original memories and infrastructural means to preserve education that is timeless, not just ancient. That was taken away from everyone. The actual course in short words and long words of their protracted revelations was taken away from every person A through Z across the entire globe. Every identity of the ground, location, area, and state. As this method knew, with other countries and with our own, refer to it, and with religions too, as criminal enterprises is worse. Religions are partially about how everything before their time, the sciences, the way they had been revealed to the ancients before sciences became criminally foreign influenced. They had revealed the method of evolution's fruits and gifts, going by the identity of relativity, that is increasing identity of volume, where volume equals value as nature/nature as value, and where this one identity of volume as a forever nature is generating more of its identity as value, as nature/nature as value. It's generating more of its identity of relationship to itself, the value of that. So, those three identities bonded and increasing are the body of this forever nature, but also with two other distinct, individual and grouped identities of sequence/simultaneous nature. A part of that from our perspective, where we are in and as the quality of diffusion, where the greater Trinity is making more of itself, so it appears to be five. And it is five. We'll discern, because this is how fake branches bow and step aside or fall. The seed is right below. Here, wall.